Good morning, everyone, and please be seated. My name is Fred Marcus. I serve as the chair of the Pacific Oaks Board of Trustees, and I am also a proud graduate of Pacific Oaks College. On behalf of our Pacific Oaks president, Board of Trustees, the faculty, the administrative staff, and the entire Pacific Oaks College family, it is my great honor to stand before you and welcome you to our 59th annual commencement ceremony. As I stand before you today, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on those previous 58 commencement ceremonies, which have graduated students much like yourselves, all grounded in the same values, the importance of the individual and service to the community, diversity, social justice, and participatory decision-making. These same values permeate the school today as they did when I was a student at Pacific Oaks. These principles remain as important and socially relevant today, perhaps even more so, as they were when the first Pacific Oaks graduates received their diplomas in front of family and friends in the 60s, and will continue to be part of the institution's DNA into the future. This is an incredibly proud day for all of you, a time when we come together to celebrate the remarkable achievements of today's graduates. And as we celebrate them, we also celebrate you, the families, loved ones, and friends who have supported our students as they pursued their educational goals and made dreams come true. At this time, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you Pacific Oaks College President, Mr. Jack Pedunton. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair Marcus. Good morning, everyone. It is my honor to introduce to you the President of TCS Education System, Dr. Michael Horowitz. Pacific Oaks gained strength through affiliation with TCS Education System, a nonprofit of higher education consortium that provides support to 5 colleges. Dr. Horowitz has a deep affection to Pacific Oaks College. He currently our board members and also have served as an interim president in 2011. I'm so proud to announce today that we are celebrating our graduation of Pacific Oaks class of 2019. The events that make it possible by TCS Education support. Here, Dr. Horowitz.
Thank you, President Pedunton. Good morning, buenos dias. I want to acknowledge and celebrate something about President Pedunton and also his wife, Dr. Yuki Moon. They immigrated to the U.S. as adults. And isn't it great that Pacific Oaks is a community that welcomes and celebrates and lifts up immigrants and understands the beauty they contribute to this country. I'm also honored to share the stage with our keynote speaker and another alum, Dr. Antonia Darder. We're proud to welcome you back to Pacific Oaks. You've had an illustrious career as an educator, activist, and artist. For 40 years, you've been a leading light of change as you worked to counter social and material inequalities within schools and communities. So thank you for coming back. And to the class of 2019, take many moments today to draw inspiration from Dr. Darder. When she sat where you are today, set to graduate from Pacific Oaks College, she may not have been able to imagine how far she would go and what an impact she would have on our country and our society. So I am very excited to see the impact that you are going to have. I think for all of you, the sky is the limit. I'm so happy to celebrate with you. Congratulations.
Graduating students, Pacific Oaks trustees and colleagues, and most especially friends and family, welcome to the 2019 Pacific Oaks College Commencement. As your host, it is our goal to make the commencement meaningful and significant, the event that you always remember. This year, there are 539 students graduating from Pacific Oaks College. That's made it one of the largest graduating class for the history of Pacific Oaks. 55% of you will be earning a master's degree today. The remaining will be earning bachelor degree or completing credential programs. Today is the day that each one of you will earn a new title. You can proudly call yourself a graduate of Pacific Oaks. Right? It is an honor that you share with nearly 10,000 alumni that are graduating before you and make a difference in the world. Graduates, today we celebrate you. Today, we also congratulate your families and friends who are supporting you for today's success. Please join me in recognizing and thanking them, starting off with our mothers. Mothers, if you can, please stand. I personally also wish you a happy Mother's Day for tomorrow as well. Congratulations. The next, I would like to invite fathers, spouses, partners, and loved one of our graduate. Please stand. This next group is very critical for the graduate. Let's not forget our favorite supporting group, the children of the graduate. We thank you from the bottom of our heart. Families and friends, I hope that you have spotted your graduate in their seat. And in a short moment, they will walk across the stage. Their name will be announced, and that signifies that they have completed their degree requirements. The celebration of receiving degree today rely on collective efforts from our staff and faculty. May you please join me to recognize and thanking them. May I please ask the faculty to stand. That does feel like I am in a concert. Well, thank you, faculty. As equally as important, may I please also ask our staff and administrator to stand as well. Thank you very much. The last group is very important to Pacific Oaks College, our Board of Trustees, who continue their support to the college to improve our quality and service our community. Trustee, for those of you who are on stage and those of you who are on the first floor, please stand and be recognized. Thank you very much. The class of 2019 always hold a different place in my heart because your last year at Pacific Oaks is the first year that I serve it as interim president. I am very lucky to have this opportunity to say goodbye to you and to say congratulations to you before you leave the college. Of course, commencement is much more than just saying goodbye. Today, the ceremony provides us with an opportunity for you to reflect on the spirit that your class defined, and also to celebrate the knowledge that you have gained and have created. I look forward for the exciting opportunity that you have to offer to your community. When I reflect on the contribution that you have made to the community and the commitment that you have to Pacific Oaks' core value of social justice, diversity, inclusion, and respect, I am optimistic of our future, our institution prosperity, our country, and global community. Your class, reflective of your generation, share value that community needs, a dedication to service, an appreciation of different value, viewpoint, and lifestyle, an understanding of and importance of collaboration across and within community. Graduate, I am so proud of you. We always will be happy to welcome you back to Pacific Oaks, your home. Congratulations, class of 2019.
Congratulations and welcome. I'm Marcia Bankier. I'm the Dean of the campus up in San Jose. And it is my honor to introduce our student speaker today. Chris Frantz is a Pacific Oaks success story, having earned both his bachelor's degree and in human development and his master's degree in organizational leadership and change. His studies have centered on educational psychology and building successful organizations. Since 2009, he has actively grown the professional development department at the Glendale Community College and represented the program at conferences and meetings with the California State Chancellor's Office. He's an avid traveler who has circled the globe many times during his studies. He intends to further his education and will continue to create innovative programs and encourage transformative growth. Chris, please come to the podium.
Fellow classmates, supportive faculty, cherished family, and loved ones. Today we recognize the 2019 graduating class of Pacific Oaks College. Throughout this educational journey, we have been shown that there is dignity in every individual experience, an undeniable strength in our collective wisdom. Learning from and alongside this PO community has enabled us to understand and appreciate variances in perspective, culture, and belief. Perseverance in the face of our personal challenges has demonstrated extraordinary personal resolve. We have worked extremely hard to achieve this milestone. And now, all those late nights of researching, writing, and rewriting our other assignments have finally paid off. As we recognize the magnitude of today's achievement, let us also honor the sacrifice and service of all of those who have supported us in reaching and continuing to realize our highest academic, personal, and professional potential. The lifelong process of achieving one's goals requires frequent self-reflection, but it also requires a willingness to engage with and learn from relationships with our neighbors, partners, teachers, students, and parents. Who and what we are is not a construct of society. It is an innate and personal understanding of our truest selves. Over the course of numerous class discussions, we have explored the impact of sensitive issues ranging from ethnicity, gender, ableism, sexual orientation, and classism, which fundamentally affect our society. We were challenged to take risks and acknowledge that these systems of power, privilege, and oppression exist everywhere in the world. Armed with this information, we will now work together to become better allies in creating diverse and prosperous environments for society to thrive in. Developing strategies based on real setbacks and struggles will allow us to find truth, foster empowerment, and commune with one another to achieve a more equitable society for all. Now is the time to put these values into practice. Let us not settle for mediocrity, but instead continue evolving into the vigilant, empowered changemakers that we were always meant to be. I encourage each of you to rise up and heed this call. Go forth, be brave, be bold, and above all, be true. Thank you, and good luck.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Bree Cook, Vice President of Academic Affairs, and I have the distinct honor of being able to introduce our commencement speaker. Dr. Antonia Dardar is a distinguished international Freirean scholar. She holds the Levy Presidential Endowed Chair of Ethics and Moral Leadership at Loyola Marymount University, is a distinguished visiting professor of education at the University of Johannesburg, and a professor emerita of education, policy, organization, and leadership at the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign. Dr. Dardar's work includes building on the experience of cultural researchers and bicultural education pioneers, expanding on and sharing core concepts, and demonstrating the challenges in our environment through key metrics. As an activist, she participates in a variety of grassroots efforts tied to educational rights, workers' rights, bilingual education, women's issues, environmental justice, and immigrant rights. More recently, her work has sought to articulate a critical theory of leadership for social justice and community engagement, as well as to theorize a pedagogy of beauty in the pursuit of a liberatory practice of education. She is the author of numerous books and articles in the field, including Culture and Power in the Classroom, Reinventing Paulo Freire, A Pedagogy of Love, and A Dissent Voice, Essays on Culture, Pedagogy, and Power. Dr. Dardar began her educational journey at Pasadena City College, where she earned her degree in nursing. She later attended California State University, Los Angeles for her bachelor's in rehabilitation counseling, and received her Master's of Arts in Human Development with a specialization in Marriage, Family, and Child Counseling at Pacific Oaks College. She earned her PhD in Education from Claremont Graduate University. She is a public intellectual educator, writer, activist, and artist. Please join me in welcoming our 2019 commencement speaker, Dr. Antonio Dardar.
Good morning. Thank you to President Jack Bedunton, the board of Pacific Oaks College. I want to say a special thank you to Carrie Sickland for getting me through here. Bree, thank you for that wonderful, wonderful presentation. And to the class of 2019 and the families who are here to celebrate with you. This is an incredible morning. This is a beautiful morning, and I'm happy to join you. I want to begin on a personal note. Fannie Lou Hamer, a women's rights activist, community organizer, and a leader in the civil rights movement, besieged us never to forget where we came from and always praise the bridges that carried us over. With this in mind, I express my deep appreciation to Pacific Oaks College for having been an important bridge that carried me in my life. It was here at Pacific Oaks that I was introduced to the work of my late mentor and friend, Paulo Freire. My professors, Carol Brunson Day, who was known then as Phillips, Louise Derman Sparks, and Barbara Richardson enveloped me with love and nurtured my intellectual strength. They encouraged my learning of theories, but they also engaged my lived history as an impoverished Puerto Rican single mother struggling to work, to get an education, to take care of my children. They truly believed in me when I did not believe in myself. A few years later, I thought I was I'm sorry. It's been a long journey, truly has. A few years later, I returned to Pacific Oaks and this became my academic home. For 5 years, I served as a faculty member working with students to decipher the dynamics of social political oppression. It was here that I built the theory of critical biculturalism and developed a grounded understanding of what it means to teach as an act of love. So my being back with you this morning is truly a homecoming. However, never would I have believed that almost 40 years later, I would still be talking about the oppressive social and material struggles and structures that exist here in this society and around the world that impact the lives and education of our children in this country. As I thought about what I might say to you, I grappled with this task in that as much as I want to be inspiring and uplifting and congratulatory in my remarks, I had just learned the heartbreaking news that another unaccompanied immigrant boy died in government custody this week. We are still coping with the heavy racial profiling of young working-class men of color on urban streets. Black youth never know if they're going to be targeted by the police. Incarceration rates, particularly for men and women of color, are appalling. In schools, although there has been improvement, math and reading scores are not significantly higher than they were 30 years ago. Neoliberal educational reforms and the privatization of education have made these problems, in some cases, even more difficult to tackle. In the US, as in other countries, we are also witnessing an authoritarian turn in the political climate, where post-truth notions abound. In light of these truths, we are in need of a vision to guide us towards greater social, political, and economic justice. Although you are entering an exciting and new chapter of your life, it is also a very challenging moment where social inequities persist and economic apartheid reigns globally. Everywhere I go around the world, I see the same situation in relationship to poverty. This leads us to question, how can we sustain our commitment to social justice in the midst of post-truth era that has overwhelmingly turned all sense of reason and communal responsibility on its head? Here I'm reminded of the words of our exiled sister and activist, Assata Shakur, who rightly noted, nobody in the world, nobody in history has ever gotten their freedom by appealing to the moral sense of the people who were oppressing them. Asada's words caution us to be clear about the consequences of our purpose and intention in the world, as well as the need to be anchored to a view of truth that will permit us to navigate the waters of this tumultuous time, a moment powerfully affecting us all, no matter where you're situated in society. In the morass of these times, we must recognize that truths are not simply a matter of individual opinion or the rights of some willful, wealthy individual. Our truths must instead be grounded to collective lived experiences and a historical understanding of our human needs. This signals us towards just and dynamic truths that are not separated from nature nor communal existence, but instead are interconnected with the actual conditions and consequences that common people must grapple with in an unjust and unequal world. Our truths must also be understood within the context of competing interests and the gross inequalities that persist. However, it is precisely because truths are, in fact, contested, given the inclinations of human beings to lose sight of our interdependent nature, or to brashly move into self-serving ways that collapse and corrupt emancipatory possibilities, that we need emancipatory principles for a way of life that can assist us to interrogate competing ideas, always with an eye on the social and material consequences of their enactment in the world. This compels us to ask who benefits and who loses, so we can make choices that go beyond solely material gain or egocentric preoccupations that can blind us to the suffering of others. It is essential then that we come to work in schools and communities today with an ethical consciousness of kinship, that we are familia, we are kinship. And this must be rooted in deep criticality and the courage to question structures and practices that result in human suffering. This entails our willingness to bring the power of our social agency, our political conviction, and integrity of commitment to all our relationships, and by so doing, remain steady during contentious historical moments of chaos and contradiction and transition, because I feel we are now in a moment of incredible political transition. We are currently witnessing a variety of examples, though, of brave and daring people who refuse to allow it to be business as usual. Teachers are organizing all over the country with communities, taking their educational concerns to the streets, inspiring folks, businesses to put out signs that declare, "We stand with teachers." And students who are protesting the adverse effects of climate change and what this will mean to their uncertain future. Immigrant communities who are coming together to unite against the inhumanity and brutality of national immigration policies and practices. In the political arena, we're also witnessing the great influence of the feminine being regenerated as women such as Alejandria Ocasio-Cortez, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and others stand together to oppose the destructive values and codes of patriarchy, racism, economic exploitation in new and exciting ways. These are women who are invoking voices of liberation, ethical voices for change grounded upon what Bell Hooks called the authority of our lived experience. That is, decolonizing voices anchored upon the actual social and material conditions of our daily lives. What is apparently distinctive about these women's voices is that they are generated from an ethical and material understanding for participatory democracy and collective action as a revolutionary force for transformation. To stand up for justice and cultural democracy requires abiding principles that firmly rooted in ethics and ethics of democratic life and human liberation. This speaks to what Enrique Dussel, the Latin American philosopher, calls an ethics of liberation, grounded in pedagogical and political principles of engagement in particular towards transforming those values, beliefs, attitudes, perceptions, and structures that foreclose our freedom to be and betray our revolutionary dreams. This encompasses an ethics of practice that begins with the needs of the most vulnerable. For if the needs of the most oppressed are attended, all else will fall into place. This humanizing value embraces the preciousness of all life and embodies a realization that only love can inspire us and mobilize us to relinquish our egocentric or narcissistic tendencies and live a genuine commitment to liberation. An ethics of liberation also encompasses a sense of human kinship. I'm going to go back to that sense of kinship that entails an understanding that we exist as fully interdependent human beings. As such, we cannot ameliorate conditions of poverty, of racism, of patriarchy, of heterosexism, or religious chauvinism without embodying humanizing principles. In the Mayan tradition, for example, the ethics of Inlakesh Alakin, you are my other me, or I am another you, serves to temper and sustain healing forms of communal relationships grounded upon individual and collective responsibility for one another. Because if you are my other me, then I'm going to come to the table with incredible respect for you. I'm going to care about what you have to say. I'm going to listen to you because I'm going to want that from you. Through enacting a consciousness of our shared kinship, we are discouraged from competition, individualism, envy, pettiness, and greed by cultivating a path of tenderness. Senju Etherline Manuel, a Black Buddhist priest, in her book, The Way of Tenderness, writes, oppression is a distortion of our true nature. It disconnects us from earth and from each other. Awakening from the distortion of oppression begins with tenderness. We recognize our own wounded tenderness, which develops into the tenderness that comes with heartfelt and authentic liberation. This understanding of authentic liberation encompasses both a personal and individual commitment to extend ourselves beyond the limits of a societal system that is predominantly determined by racialized capital and scientific edifications utilized by the few to rationalize and normalize the suffering of the many. Instead, we are challenged to daringly embrace a political consciousness of love, vulnerability, and tenderness as a collective emancipatory force for global change, commencing from the inside out. Here it is also the humble realization that we cannot genuinely embody nor teach that which we are yet to learn. And the best we teach is that which we know in our own lives. We have to be our words. It's not just about the words alone. We have to have the courage to live those words. This way of tenderness, rooted in heartfelt and authentic liberation, also defies close-minded and destructive manner in which we can wittingly or unwittingly demonize one another within the context of personal and political struggles. For example, debilitating ideologies of racism are perpetuated through the process of personal and institutional shaming of people of color as being intellectually inferior or socially deficient, both culturally and genetically. And this comes out in a whole lot of different ways, often not by the way what people think consciously, but the behaviors and things they say unconsciously. This dehumanizing dynamic, however, is also present when we employ shaming as a battle strategy against men and women who we consider to be sexist or racist or homophobic. So although we are often tempted to justify this strategy, shame is actually a profound wounding experience that deeply arrests our human development by shutting down fields of engagement and thus the possibilities for social transformation. Ultimately, shame as a political strategy within our communities and across communities weakens the collective power of our multidimensional humanity and obstructs the path to truly knowing one another and nurturing connection in the midst of difference. Here, I'm reminded of Malcolm X's words to the Mississippi youth in 1964 when he said, "Ignorance of each other is what has made unity impossible in the past. We need more light upon each other. Light creates understanding. Understanding creates love. Love creates patience. And patience is what creates unity." To embody light, love, patience, and unity means to courageously challenge and denounce policies and practices and relationships that disaffiliate us, condemning our children and our communities to perceptions and practices of violence and hatred. This vision of social justice also calls us back to our bodies. So much of oppression is to take us out of our bodies. We need our bodies. We cannot change the world if we are abstracted from our bodies. This colonization of the flesh has left many of us numb and alienated, fragmented, defenseless to the mercy of capital. In response, rather than exercising a language of economic efficiency and neoliberal accountability within institutions, we need an ethical, democratic language of political participation to safeguard the dignity and integrity of our human differences intrinsic to this deeply pluralistic nation. An ethics founded upon love as an imperative for just collective existence invites us all to come back, to be part of a decolonizing culture that fosters human connection, intimacy, trust, and honesty. The ethics of love also engenders a brave willingness to relinquish hardened or fixed perceptions of the other so that together we can work to recontextualize. We have to reframe what it means to be free, what justice is about, and what equality in the world truly means as well. Sherry Shapiro says, with love we affirm and are affirmed in the social political struggle against death, from hunger, from disease, from exploitation, war, destruction of the earth, and against hopelessness. There's a great and growing need for our capacity to become body full with love. Also important, I just have to take a breath there, body full with love. You gotta feel it, right? It's not up here, right? We got to feel it right here. Also important then is the recognition that only within collective struggles for our humanity can political consciousness and social movement intermingle effectively. Through creative and collective actions with our students, with colleagues, with communities, we can work not only to raise social consciousness, but also for reinventing in concrete ways the social structures, institutional relationships, and material conditions that shape our lives and the lives of children everywhere. At the heart of this message is a call to action. You got that right? This is a call to action. For at a time when our freedoms are being eroded, civil liberties undermined, democracy threatened, and capitalism imploding, great moral courage is required to voice our dissent against dehumanizing policies and practices that betray the well-being of our children and our communities. What we need is a solid commitment to decolonizing our minds and our bodies from the dynamics of injustice by embracing passionately our sensuality, our thinkingness, that we're thinking beings, knowing beings, we're feeling beings, and we're healing subjects of history. The late activist, author, and feminist Grace Lee Boggs wrote, "We are at one of the great turning points in human history when the survival of our planet and the restoration of our humanity require a great sea of change. Those awakened to the indefensible conditions of this historical turning point need to labor together. We must work together within our schools and our communities to nourish the empowerment, the social agency, and self-determination of people everywhere, particularly those who are still contending with the trauma of historical and contemporary violence." Underlying this call is an unwavering appreciation for the personal and political power we possess for remaking our histories through embodying personal responsibility, political commitment, and a collective consciousness fueled by a profound love for humanity and the world. With all this in mind, my great hope this morning is that as you move forward, graduates, that you will embody and enact the humanizing values and sensibilities inherent in your Pacific Oaks education, an education that I pray has prepared you mightily to be a healing presence in the world. May you persist in cultivating compassion, generosity, openness, vulnerability, and tenderness in your everyday lives. May you believe in the great power of committed human beings to do that which so many think impossible, to create a culturally democratic and economically just world. So walk with courage, with self-respect, with dignity, dear graduates. No matter what obstacles come in your life, because there's going to be a hell of a lot of obstacles, I can tell you right now. And most of all, cherish the magnificent essence of our humanity, even when we can't see the light. Congratulations, class of 2019. What a great privilege and joy to be here with you. Thank you.
Antonia, come please. President Pedunton, it is my honor and pleasure to present this certificate of recognition to Dr. Antonio Dadar. You're welcome. Oh, right there.
We'll get it together.
Thank you, Dr. Dadar, for inspirational and motivating speech. We are so proud to call you a Pacific Oaks alumni. At this time, I would like to invite Chairperson Fred Marcus on the stage for a special presentation.
Dr. Beane's involvement with Pacific Oaks began in 2010 prior to arrival on campus, when Pacific Oaks initiated the affiliation process with TCS Education System. At that time, she served as the TCS Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs and was instrumental in various aspects of integration that led to the success of the affiliation. She worked closely with Pacific Oaks over 3 special visits with our accrediting agency, WASC, to ensure we were in compliance with Department of Education requirements. Following this successful work over several years, Dr. Beane was offered the position of provost at the college and was later appointed president. Dr. Beane was named the 10th president of Pacific Oaks College and Children's School in 2015, bringing with her more than 35 years of experience in higher education. Dr. Beane drove the progress of the institution in several ways, including enhancing academic quality, improving financial stability, spearheading the purchase of the Pasadena campus property, and developing the San Jose campus. President Beane's office door was always open for students, staff, faculty. Many of you may recall meeting her on your first tour of the college, or seeing her at an open house event, or watching her learn how to hula hoop during Wellness Week. But Dr. Beane's involvement was not limited to on-campus activities. She joined college groups that volunteered at community events. She helped prepared food at homeless shelters. She participated in the NAMI walk. She bathed dogs at an animal shelter. She supported an equestrian rider at the Special Olympics. During her time at Pacific Oaks, Dr. Beane's commitment and passion for the school's mission and core values was evident in everything she did. Therefore, in appreciation for her leadership and dedication, the Pacific Oaks College and Children's School Board of Trustees unanimously appoint Dr. Patricia Beane to the status of President Emeritus. Dr. Beane, please join me.
We shall now proceed with the presentation of candidates for degrees. Each candidate has been approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees to receive the degree indicated in the program and on their diploma, subject to the completion of all requirements. Reading the names of the candidates will be the deans of each school: Dr. Elizabeth Chamberlain for School of Education, Dr. Terry Webster for the School of Human Development, Dr. Rebecca Rojas for the School of Cultural and Family Psychology, and Dr. Teresa Green for Interdisciplinary Studies, MAOLC. Will the candidates for the Bachelors of Arts in Early Childhood Education please approach the podium?
Jeanette Sanchez. Madeline Arahu. Courtney Appleton Schlinkenmeyer. Melissa Rodriguez. Rachel Jasper. Elena Janred. Priscilla Malena Glaza. Okay. Sonia Martinez. Guadalupe Chavez. Dolores Bernardino. Celia Turan. Kara Tsukamoto. Lizette Hernandez. Carrie Elizabeth Hill Triano. Laura Sochi Valdez Chavez. Mary Louise Retana. Maria Valencia. Irma Romo. Jacqueline Bonilla. Asia Broom. Eugenia Del Cid. Nanila Radovisian. Julie Jarian. Sandra Noon. Audra Del Carmen Marone Rodriguez. This concludes the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in Early Childhood Education.
Will the candidates for the Masters of Arts in Early Childhood Education please approach the podium?
Karen Diane Stitch. Lourdes Paura. Erica Oleden. Mary Claire Gabrielle. Alida Garcilazo. Nayeli Arachiga. Michelle Mason. Crystal Diamond Medina. Jennifer Villarreal. Aubrey Kleeman. Maria Magdalena Velarde. Irene DeCal. Teresa Manning. Kristen Munoz. Melanie Nicole Hall. Consuelo Cisneros. Celeste Ortega. Angela Buck. Evangelina Lisea. Simon Kim. Stephanie Michelle Garcia Orozco. Ortiz. Sonia Smith. Achi Len. Esmeralda Ruiz. Tina Ellison. This concludes the candidates for Master of Arts in Early Childhood Education.
Will the candidates for the Masters of Arts in Education please approach the podium?
Crystal Banda. Christine Chan. Sadie Keller. Jessica Burton. Dominique Harris. Barry Gonzalez. Jessica Ybarra. Gloria Leyva. Daniel Walker. This concludes the candidates for Master of Arts in Education.
Will the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts in Human Development please approach the podium?
Aritra Bhattacharya. Patricia Franco. Cindy Guevara. Clint Davids. Daniela Ceniceros. Nishmeth Vargas. Rachel Valenzuela. Maria Bocanegra. Maria Colima Jimenez. Martha Patricia Perez Saldana. Sandra Perez. Lourdes Valdez. Maricela Bernardino. Maribel Gomez. Zaida Regosa Salinas. Guadalupe Roja Mendez. Veronica Vasquez Rios. Trisha Lau. Stephen Dale Anderson. Merle Guzman. Bridget Elaine McFarland. Zachary Ellis. Fabiola Dinocio Ramirez. Juana Castillo. Dora Arias. Ana Castillo. Sandra Canales Ocampo. Alicia Alvarez. Aurora Luna. Carol Fuentes. Suzette Jeanette Taylor. Valerie Brown. Adriana Alvarado. Valerie Orozco. Karen Cifuentes. Linda Zamora. Myra Unzueta. Saul Guillen. Guillermina Vargas. Leslie Carr. Eva Marie Serrano. Claudia Varela. Althea Wildebeer. Saul Rios. Lisa Susan Drucker. Angelica Vasquez. Lindsay Snare. Leslie G. Durenberg. Indra Cervantes. Taylor Lecone. Kimberly Karate. Brenda Rincon. Elva Adelina Roman. Oyuki Chavez. Julia Sandoval. Francisco Martinez. Brittany Henderson. Rachel Worley. Giovanni Brown Austin. Kathy Mae Sana. Ruby Torres Santana. Cristina Perez Ramirez. Dora Pilcher. Nazreen Garcia. Adriana Galvez. Archimedes Barrera. This concludes the candidates for Bachelor of Arts in Human Development.
Will the candidates for Bachelors of Arts in Advocacy and Social Justice please approach the podium?
Brenda Martinez. Rebecca Salazar. Brianna Magana. Yuri Stephanie Miranda. Teresa Cervantes. Winifred Hinkle. Nelma Ramirez. Latrice Hearns. Brittany Carey. This concludes the candidates for Bachelor of Arts in Advocacy and Social Justice.
Will the candidates for Master of Arts in Human Development please approach the podium?
Adriana Alvarez. Judith Gonzalez. Tanisha Johnson Whitehorn. Nidia Delgado. Karina Becerra. Michelle Sepulveda. Karen Monick. Birdie Winrow. Diana Rivera. Arshak Terpagosian. Song Lee. Leslie Sensei. Sloan Vanessa Taplin. Cynthia Zuniga. Eliana Mancilla. Shayna Crawford. Marie Villafan. Leslie Arana. Araceli Gonzalez. Lilia Braga. Sabrina Womack. Lurvine Magana Calles. Rebecca Machado. Lisa Berry. Maria Guadalupe Rosas. Charisse Rugamas Castro. Nancy Lopez. Tanisha Ashley Cruz. Nancy Baker. Trisha Nartea Hufana. Glenn Curtis Burke. Portia Fort. Rashmika Dutt. Gabriel Cabanillas. Roxana Croteau. Tracy Tu. Tish Garcia. Rocio Urbina Lytel. Dana Win G. Dang Gam Sao. Wynn Sanders. Maria Velasquez. Melissa Leza. Anae Arenas Rodriguez. Jessica Mejia. Eve Gamero Tabon. Yesenia Rivas Berajano. Ethel Alandi. Connie Corona. Nancy Joaquin. Moline Henderson. Tanaya Woods. This concludes the candidates for Master of Arts in Human Development.
Will the candidates for the Master of Arts in Cultural and Family Studies please approach the podium?
Erwinda Vesep. This concludes the candidates for Master of Arts in Cultural and Family Studies.
Will the candidates for Master of Arts in Marriage and Family Therapy please approach the podium?
Jimmy Wynn. Alejandro Zavala. Angelica Cano. Francesca Battaglia. Shalmar Howard Neal. Daniel Holguin. Camille Williams. Wendy Lopez. Jonathan Terrell Richards. Melissa Lucene. Pamela Sequoia Jones. Isabel Aguilar. Tiffany Gibson Orial. Alicia Marie Burnett. Diane Orozco. Leah Tanasali. Brandon Edison. Joanna Garcia. William Haddad. Kiana Catrice Brooks. Melissa Ryan O'Keefe. Ariel M. Cohen. Aria Hannah. Maricruz Manzano. Richard Barcelo. Melissa Moreira Ramirez. Joanne Verduzco. David Ibrahim. Michael Colter. Annie Chup Vu. Mindy Doan. Shayna Carroll. Ramon Lopez. Natalia Alvarado. Christy Fletcher. Deborah Rosen. Cecily Marietta. Stephanie Estrada. Yesenia Gonzalez. Vanessa Shikastanki. Janet Locke. Marlana Marie Pearson. Blanca Susana Osuna Garcia. This concludes the candidate for Masters of Arts in Marriage and Family Therapy.
Will the candidates for the Master of Arts in Marriage and Family Therapy, African American Family Studies, please approach the podium?
Lucretia Collins.
Congratulations.
Kim Savage. Eric Warren Jr. Keith Holmes. Shiana Gray.
So that's done.
Deborah Gelmano Latimer. Cinnamon Renee Johnson. Morris Clardy Jr. Nika Trantam. This concludes the candidates for Masters of Arts in Marriage and Family Therapy, African American Studies.
Will the candidates for the Master of Arts in Marriage and Family Therapy, Latinx Family Studies, please approach the podium?
Monica Avila. Karina Pineda Garcia. This concludes the candidates for Masters of Arts in Marriage and Family Therapy, Latinx Family Studies.
Will the candidates for Masters of Arts in Organizational Leadership and Change please approach the podium?
Christopher Frantz. Danielle Kilgore. Jessica Krantz. Rebecca Rallis. Pamela Payton. Lauren Rodriguez. Joyce Toensfeld. Adriana Avatia. Jamie Navarro. Stacy Jo Hazlitt. Linda Ann Whitney. Hannah Mathis. This concludes the degrees for Masters of Arts in Organizational Leadership and Change.
Students, friends, and family, while the graduates return to their seats, will you please join me in acknowledging the extraordinary talent and dedication of our world-class faculty. Will all candidates please rise? President Pedunton, on behalf of the faculty of Pacific Oaks College, I present to you these candidates who have been approved by the faculty and the Board of Trustees to receive the degree indicated and respectfully request that you confer upon them the degree for which they are qualified.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and the State of California, I hereby confer upon you the degree for which you qualify, with all the rights, privileges, immunity, and honor hereunto pertaining. To signify the conferral of your degree, please move your tassel from the right side of the motherboard to the left. Once again, graduate, congratulations. At this time, I would like to invite our core faculty, Cheryl Greer-Jarman, who will deliver a charge of our graduate. Professor Jarman.
Okay, I've been officially told. Graduates, you may be seated. to our very able founder, the president of TCS System, Dr. Michael Horowitz, our brand new, hot off the press, president, Dr. Jack Pedutton, to our marvelous commencement speaker and my former colleague, Dr. Antonia Dadar, to our charismatic student speaker, Brother Chris, who reminded me on today that the very first class that he took at Pacific Oaks was with me. There, okay. To our Board of Trustees, all administrators, core and adjunct faculty, staff, but especially to this brilliant, marvelous, intelligent, and incredible group of people right before me. The newest scholars in Pasadena, the Pacific Oaks graduating class of 2019. I say to you, good afternoon. I count it as a blessing and an honor to be chosen as the one to address our newest alumni. We know that it is now party turn-up time. We get that, and you deserve that. But before you go, I have been asked to give a departing benediction in the form of a charge to inspire the spark down in your innermost being, to incite a fire within you that will continue to burn and consume in a dry place, a hurting place, in a society which is wounded, weary, and worrisome. This is a clarion call for you to be the balm, the voice, the salve, and the inspiration. I stood in this place in 2018, and I expressed many of the social, political, economic, and cultural toxicities that currently exist. And it is disturbing to me to say that since that time, they still exist. And sadly, they have become worse. As an official senior and as a cultural elder in my lifetime, I have never witnessed such vile and toxic behavior, which is fueled daily by complicity, silence, and enabling. And while we are told that hate crimes are down, in fact, they are up. The daily data tells us that they have increased. While we have been told that we are on top of international terrorism, domestic terrorism is still ignored. And when did lying become the new norm? Most times, people lie because they cannot face the reality of their truth. When did we decide that scheming our way to the top was to our advantage? What has happened to integrity. We are operating many times devoid of any morals. There is a big difference between a script and a conviction. As a nation, we have changed, and yet I still have hope. We have made some advancements. We have mobilized in some key areas, and many of us have realized that standing together, we can be conquerors. We have done our best in preparing you to understand, construct, and deconstruct theories, utilizing, empowering, and connecting communication skills, knowledge of being culturally competent within a context of identity development, and we have prepared you to be kind, caring, relational, respectful, and empathetic. So being educated has just begun. The next step is for the knowledge to become portable. Why spend all of this time, energy, and money to matriculate at a private institution with a very specific purpose and then not apply it? When you leave this auditorium, you are stepping out as a new being who has made one of the greatest investments that you will ever make. There are some things that just won't be the same. You have a new chance, a chance to be a light in a dark world, a chance to be magical, waving your wand of healing. Now is your chance to leave something at the altar. Now that's a word you don't often hear at a commencement service, and it's a word that concerns some folks. Often when we hear altar, we think of something attached to areas of spirituality and involves such things as absolution, contrition, sacrifice, and forgiveness. And according to your beliefs and values, that could be what you need. That altar is spelled A-L-T-A-R. However, the altar I'm referring to is spelled A-L-T-E-R. That connotes that while something is visible and somewhat functioning, something is just not right, but instead of getting rid of it, you decide to make some type of adjustment. In contemporary society, that might be called a do-over. I think we can all agree on a daily basis that we see, hear, and experience actions, behaviors, and circumstances that are just not right. Wherever did we get the idea that we could mistreat people and disrespect humanity and think that that's right? Wherever did we get the idea that we would allow our children to bully and berate other children, taunt them, and provoke them to commit suicide? Where did we get the idea that engaging in direct or vicarious acts of trauma won't have long-term consequences, whether you're a child or an adult? Who gave us the idea of thinking that some people don't rightfully belong in the land of the free? and the home of the brave. Even though the folks doing the disinviting are the same ones who legally stole the land from them in the first place. However did we get to a place that we put children in cages? Having children as young as 3 being their own lawyers. How did we come to believe that we can focus on social justice without a critical analysis of what is socially unjust? How can one determine the reality of diversity and inclusion without looking at and collaborating with those who have been excluded? Sometimes we spend more time trying to protect and comfort the offenders than we do for the people who have been offended. This is a good time to leave something at the altar. ALTER. It is a time of refocusing, repositioning, reclaiming, and restaking our humanity. There is a need for people who will embrace living on purpose and with purpose. All of us have assignments in creating a more just and kind world. We won't all have the same assignments. We have differing gifts, but time is moving swiftly. Each day that you are alive, you are a day closer to your demise. Your work as a teacher in ECE, primary age, adolescents, seniors, adults, elders, your academic and clinical skills, coupled with compassion and caring skills, can change a life. And sometimes that life is your life. Lastly, there's a societal occurrence that I'm grateful, yet somewhat surprised, that I've never experienced. It involves these words: put your hands up, you are under arrest. So that means that you are supposed to stop whatever it is that you are saying or doing because someone with sanctioned authority made a decree. If that occurs, you have some swift actions that you must take. Will you engage in obedience or disobedience? Will you be passive or will you be consenting? Please note that our society is screaming on a daily basis that you need to be arrested, that you need to put your hands up as a point of surrender. Yet, we can decide that while our hands are up, that we can raise them even higher in victory, giving cues that we will not give up, we will not give in, we will not become complacent, we will not let society define who we are, what we'll wear, what our body composition looks like, define my language as inappropriate and un-American, and deciding I don't have a right to utilize my cultural competency, communication with my family and my elders and my heritage. We will not let you decide what is appropriate for our hair, whether it is colored hair, textured hair, no hair, or natural hair. And no, by the way, you can't touch it. So, as you depart, please remember to hold on to your hope. Handle the environment and plan it with care to know when you need to alter and make some adjustments, when you need to go from hands up to hands out, and sometimes you might even need to go to hands out. Our dear graduates, consider yourself charged.
Graduates, on behalf of your Pacific Oaks community, we wish you the very best in your life, your career, and in your future. Promise us that you would come back and continue to stay connected with Pacific Oaks. Bring back the knowledge that you earn and give back to the next generation. Once again, congratulations, class of 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, I hereby proclaim the conclusion of the 2019 Pacific Oaks Commencement.